Guys, welcome to Your Best Interviews. My name is Eric Smith. Thank you so much for spending the time with me. I know that there's a lot of places you can go, and so I do appreciate you spending the time here. Today, what I want to talk to you about is applying to jobs, the mentality that you should have, and how you should be thinking about the funnel of getting to the ultimate goal, which is getting hired. So I just had a conversation with somebody that I'm working with around applying to jobs and kind of getting their resumes out there. This person's in a job right now. They're not necessarily in love with what they do. So they're open to new opportunities, but they're not actively looking. And so I asked them today, like, how many jobs are you applying to in a week? And the answer was 5, which seems like yeah, he's dipping his toe in the water, and that's great. The problem with that is today there are so many opportunities out there and so many people looking for those opportunities. And so if you're applying to just 5 jobs a week, the problem is your probability of actually getting to a recruiter and getting to that first phone screen is probably pretty low. When you're applying, it truly is a numbers game. You need to make sure that you are setting a high number because, as I've said in every video, and I'll continue to say, is technology has made it more difficult for you as a job seeker to get into the hiring process. And so it truly becomes a bigger numbers game for you as a job seeker to get the right opportunities so that you can get into a hiring process and ultimately get to your goal of being in a position where you can get a job that's different than where you're at now, or maybe your first job or whatever that is. But the ultimate goal is to get to that higher, right? And so you kind of have to back your way up from there and think about it from a funnel standpoint. So my advice would be is if you're somebody who's in a job right now, you're comfortable, but it's not the situation you want to be in. What I would say is set a goal for yourself. Set a goal that in 2 weeks you're going to apply to 50 jobs. The reason I say 50 jobs, and that might seem like a lot, is it's going to force you to actually get out of your comfort zone and do a little bit more research, start to look into industries that maybe you're interested in, but you just don't know too much about outside of maybe some major companies. It's going to force you to do a little bit of research and find different unique opportunities that are out there right now looking for your skill set that you otherwise wouldn't have found by just skimming the first 2 pages of a job board when you type in a relevant title, right? And so by setting a goal of 50 applies or setting a loftier goal, it really forces you to be more disciplined, to sit down and actually go through and start looking deeper at different opportunities and start looking at different fields, I keep saying different, but differently. Truly, it's getting you to think differently about what it is that you're interested in, what field, and then from there, you want to get your resume out there. If you get out there to 50 companies, again, the applicant tracking system is going to screen out candidates based on their resume and the keywords. And so if you apply to 50, my expectation of that would be that maybe you'll hear back from 5. And if you hear back from 5, that's great, because then maybe you move past that first initial phone screen or that pre-screen and you get to 4 interviews. And if you get to 4 interviews, there's a really good probability that one of those is going to offer you a job, right? And so it's just kind of that funnel. You gotta think about the numbers game. If you're applying to just 5 jobs, you're giving yourself a very low probability of moving down funnel and getting to your ultimate goal, which is getting hired. So think about that and base your apply number off of your situation. If you're somebody who's without a job right now and you need something right away, you should be looking at applying to 50 a day if you can. And I know that sounds like a lot, but it's your full-time job to get a job and get income coming in. You need to approach it that way. You need to approach applying to jobs, and I'm not saying blanket apply, but this is why I say it's a full-time job, because you need to devote a serious amount of time to finding the right opportunities and getting your resume out there, right? It's truly a numbers game. And if you get to the point where you have 15 phone screens or 15 in-person interviews, then you can start to kind of weed down, okay, these are the 5 that I'm really interested in, or maybe it's the 10 that I'm really interested in. These are the ones I'm going to pursue. Everything else, I'm going to send a polite, thank you for the consideration. I'm going to go a different direction. So you need to think about it from a standpoint of you need to fill the top of your funnel with a lot of opportunities, and you do that by applying to a lot of different jobs and devoting some serious time to finding the right roles. And broadening your horizon about what's out there, the different companies, different roles, all of that. And then from there, it's a funnel game, right? You know that a certain percentage of those is going to move you to a pre-screen or phone screen. A certain percentage of those is going to move you forward to an in-person interview, and a certain percentage of those are going to offer you the job. So you need to play the numbers game to favor getting out of the situation that you're in today, or moving over something that you're more passionate about and you can create more impact. But give yourself the best odds, and you do that through increasing your apply numbers, set a realistic goal, and really get yourself out there. Force yourself to find opportunities that are looking for you today. Good luck.